Hi, my name is Allie Ray. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm now 299 days sober. Jesus Christ. I've said this a lot on this recovery vlog thing, but I never thought I was going to get this far. In fact, this whole week I've been kind of giving a high probability error to maybe drinking. I know that for some horrible, horrible reason, alcoholics tend to relapse on anniversaries or significant timeline dates that seem really huge to them, seem very accomplished. And yeah, I've definitely been nervous and had wet feet about making it to 300 days sober. I wasn't sure that I was going to get here, just like I wasn't sure I was going to get to 250, and I wasn't sure I was going to get to 150. I really hate how in the recovery community you can't, or you are urged not to make lifelong declarations, or to say, you're not even allowed to play with, I was about to say play with yourself, you're not even allowed to play with the idea of this could be it, this really could be the last time. You're supposed to essentially prepare yourself every day, every hour to relapse, because I don't know about anyone else's recovery, but it is an everyday thing for me still. There's still not one day where it wouldn't be incredibly hard for me to be around alcohol, especially if I were alone, especially if I weren't on Antabuse. I don't know if I could do it. I'm going to be completely honest here and say that if I weren't on Antabuse, if I were alone with alcohol at this minute, yeah, unfortunately, I would still drink. I think, again, I can't speak to anyone else's recovery, but I think these sorts of things are really important in my recovery to admit to myself that I am, quote unquote, that weak, or that my disease is still that severe. It doesn't mean that every time I'm around alcohol I'm going to turn to stone. Maybe I'll turn into a jealous blob of despair wanting to drink, but I apologize. That's kind of just sinking in right now of how I would absolutely drink right now if there was alcohol around. And that's not every day, every hour, just it's very present right now. And I finally slept last night. That's the huge part. I hadn't really had a full night's sleep since Monday. It is now Friday morning. I got 4 hours of sleep last night, and it feels like fucking Christmas today. I'm still not doing great. I'm still trying to be really, really careful with myself for everything I just described. I think today, drawing and painting the sobriety Pokemon projects I'm working on, I don't know, and drinking a fuckload of tonic water and eating candy, that might be my best self. That might be my best self-care. Because yeah, after a week of wanting to drink so badly that I felt like I had to be monitored, and a bunch of other stuff. I really don't want to list all the negative stuff going on. I feel really positive about the shift that I have experienced just by being able to frickin' sleep. Isn't it great that one of the major symptoms of post-acute withdrawal syndrome, especially long-term, is insomnia? That I've heard alcoholics say that they didn't really get a full night's sleep for the first 2 years of recovery. I've fortunately had some of those nights, but one of the major forums or whatever we use about checking in so that we don't relapse is HALT, the hungry, angry, lonely, tired thing. That's huge. I can't put enough weight on how I've almost relapsed because I didn't realize I was hungry or just really tired. Or just need to go on a walk. Not to dismiss any of the severity of this disease. If it were always that easy, that would mean that I wouldn't have been struggling with this for so long. But sleeping is huge. And I think I've mentioned this with feeling nauseous and how I'll occasionally throw up. Just because my body is stupid and my stomach is sensitive to my stomach is sensitive to the medications that are keeping me alive right now. Being sick, not being able to sleep, those sort of things are super triggering, especially for me to relapse, because there was definitely a part of me that thought like everything was going to be magical rainbow farts from heaven once I got sober, that I wouldn't, that the nausea, the, useless nausea would just be gone, that I'd be able to eat normal foods every day like a person without my stomach hurting all the time. Yeah, and that I'd be able to sleep well. I don't know. I feel like I'm babbling right now. I am very tired still. I'm putting all of this insecurity babbling out there. Just, I have no definitive yay statements about almost being 300 days sober now. I just want to say out loud, even if I don't fully feel it, I am proud of myself for getting through this fucking horrible week where I really wanted to self-injure and I really wanted to drink, and I was thinking about suicidal thoughts all the time, and it hurt and it was painful, and yet I feel like this has been one of the more successful hell weeks for me. Maybe because I did decide to throw in the towel or whatever, just by letting this week be really, really bad and only caring about, am I going to be sober by the end of the night? Everything else can literally go fuck itself. Another note, you define your own sobriety. I'm not going to go too much into that, but to give an example, my trauma therapist, who is very against smoking and partially makes his living on trying to get addicts to stop smoking, he has told me to stop trying to quit smoking this year, because I've gone through serious attempts and it's been bad for my alcohol sobriety. I also have friends who smoke weed, and they say that helps them stay sober. And in AA, they absolutely say, no, that's not the case. That's definitely going to lead back to drinking. Maybe. I'm not an expert about what's going to make you not drink. I just am really proud of myself that this huge, major, poisonous demon, that's been my main focus this year. Even self-injury is secondary to alcoholism. I would allow myself to cut before I allowed myself to drink. This stuff is all still really, really hard for me to admit. Or maybe it's just today. I feel like I am a teenager about to go to a prom where I either may lose my virginity in the most wonderful way, or I'm going to show up and be so disappointed and have such a bad time and not be able to leave. I feel like that might be a metaphor for sobriety and life. Anyway, I'm going to go back to coloring. Do what you can to take care of yourself. I don't give a fuck if you believe in this or not. Mercury is in retrograde. It is screwing things up, okay? So take the fact that everything feels weird seriously. I mean, always take that seriously. Things never don't feel weird if you are experiencing that they are weird. Validate your own existence. I'm gonna try to stop sounding smart and just put myself back into the creative mode. Take care of yourselves.